Hello. So in this series of videos, we're going to look at some basic use of Google Keep. Google Keep is a note-taking platform within your Google Suite. Imagine that it's Post-it notes on one digital plane as opposed to all over your desk. So you're going to see some features attached to a Chrome extension that we'll talk about in a future video, like these categories that are colorful across the top and the option that says customize categories. That's an extension. It'll be coming in a little bit. But this video, I want to do some basic navigation so you know what you're looking at before we get started. So you'll notice that on that left-hand side, you're going to see a menu. We are in the notes section, so all of the notes would be available there. Now I can set up some notes that have reminders on them. We'll look at that when we start to make notes. But if I wanted just to look at the notes that had reminders, I could click that and just see those. I also have an option to set up some labels. So you'll notice that some of these have labels on them. These are presentations that I attended at a conference a few years ago. And so if I wanted to group those together with a label, then I can easily add those. And then all I have to do is click a label to just pull out the ones that's attached to. Now, some of my notes may have lived their life, but I want to bring them back later. I can always archive them. Or if they've done their purpose and I don't need them anymore, I can always trash them. Just basically depends on what I need. Now this menu here, I'm going to go back to all of our notes so we can see it all. The top left, the three lines is my menu. So if I click that, I can get a collapsible menu so that I get more space, real estate on my screen. Or if I want that back, I'll just click that main menu and get the listed menu. Now, I also can change the way this looks by using this button at the top right. So right now I am in grid view, but if I want to see list view, I'll just click that and I can see all of my notes in a list. Maybe that's too much white space for me. So you can always go back to grid view that puts all of it on a plane and you just kind of hunt and peck through. So to the right of my list view, grid view toggle is the gear. Of course, gear means settings. So let's see what our settings options are. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Settings lets me select some specific defaults settings for every time I make a new note. So where do I want it added? Do I want it in the bottom? Do I want rich text previews? Do I want to set the morning, afternoon, and evening for reminders at a certain time? Do I want to allow sharing? So if I have somebody that I'm working with and I want to share notes with them, I need to make sure I turn that on. So these settings options, you can check and uncheck, and then save whatever it is that you want. There's also an option here to enable a dark theme. So if I click that option, you'll see that the background that was white is now dark, changes my colors a little bit to make it easier to read. So that's a personal preference. It might also be, have to do if you have some vision impairments, that might be helpful for you as well. There is an option under settings that says app downloads. And so there is a Google Keep app for Android and iPhone, iOS, very useful. I would recommend that you download it on your mobile devices. It will sync with your Google Keep on Chrome, very helpful. And then the last thing on the settings worth looking at is keyboard shortcuts. So as with lots of tools, you have options. If you want to learn some shortcuts, to be able to be very quick with how you use Google Keep. So in the next video, we'll start looking at what features we have in building a note.